Apple TV 4000 has become one of the most quietly powerful yet strangely overlooked devices in Apple's entire product lineup. And the unusual events of 2025 have put an even brighter spotlight on it as Apple's smart home plans shift, stall, and evolve behind the scenes in ways no one fully understands, especially as the year has been filled with rumors, leaks, contradictions, and sudden silence from a company that is usually predictable and strategically consistent. At the center of this mystery sits the Apple TV 4000, a device that has grown far beyond its original identity as a simple streaming box and has transformed into the backbone of Apple's home ecosystem, handling HomeKit automations, Apple Arcade gaming, high-quality video output, private smart assistant processing, and acting as the brain of the Apple home experience. Yet, despite its importance, the Apple TV 4000 has not received the refresh that analysts, consumers, and tech insiders expected throughout 2025, creating confusion about whether Apple is preparing something huge or quietly pushing everything to 2026. For months, early in the year, tech insiders insisted that a new Apple TV 4000 was imminent, equipped with a powerful A17 Pro chip, upgraded Wi-Fi 7 support, and possibly even a long-rumored built-in camera for native Face ID on the big screen, a feature that would eliminate the need to use an iPhone for continuity camera. These rumors seemed realistic because Apple has been expanding the importance of the Apple TV within its ecosystem, especially with the rollout of Apple Intelligence, the company's next-generation AI system designed to upgrade Siri, understand natural language, and perform more complex tasks locally on device. The Apple TV 4000 is expected to act not just as a streaming hub but as a localized AI processor for the home, especially for queries like show me action movies similar to John Wick released in the last 5 years that are available in 4000 and Dolby Atmos, something the current Siri could not handle well. With the upcoming intelligent search system, smart recommendations, and local AI processing, the new Apple TV was expected to be central to Apple Intelligence Phase 2. But as September passed, then October, and now November, Apple made no announcement. No press releases, no teaser pages, no regulatory filings leaking model numbers, and no sudden store unavailability, nothing. Instead, Apple quietly refreshed its online store for the holiday season and prominently displayed the current 2022 Apple TV 4000 as if it were brand new. Even though it is 3 years old in technological terms, this raised questions because Apple historically updates the Apple TV every 2 to 3 years, and 2025 should have been the perfect window for a refresh, especially with new AI features and an increasingly competitive streaming hardware market. Meanwhile, other smart home products like the HomePod Mini and AirTag 2 also faced unexplained delays, which added to the speculation that Apple may be holding back the Apple TV refresh intentionally. What fuels this theory is Apple's growing internal push toward a unified smart home strategy built around a rumored new hybrid device that combines a HomePod speaker, an Apple TV media hub, and a small iPad-like touch display into one central smart home console. This product has been rumored since 2021, resurfaced again in 2023, and has reportedly been prototyped in multiple shapes and sizes inside Apple's labs. If Apple is preparing to introduce a new era of smart home devices in 2026, the current Apple TV 4000 refresh might have been paused to avoid launching something that will be overshadowed a year later. The timing matters because Apple wants to release its new hardware alongside fully mature Apple Intelligence updates, not in the middle of software transitions. Apple Intelligence Phase 1 launched in 2024, but Phase 2 featuring the deeply upgraded Siri, on-device language processing, context-aware interactions, and advanced entertainment search was postponed to iOS and tvOS 26.4, expected around March or April of 2026. This means that if Apple released a new Apple TV 4000 in late 2025, it would ship without the flagship features Apple wants to promote, creating a mismatch between hardware and software. Apple hates mismatches. Historically, major hardware always launches when software can showcase it. An example is spatial audio, which debuted simultaneously with compatible AirPods and full system support. This brings us back to the heart of the Apple TV 4000 story in 2025. The device is now far more than a streaming stick competitor to Roku or Fire TV. It is the command center of the Apple household. It handles automation triggers, Matter device connections, HomeKit security camera encryption, thread networking, and even remote access to your smart home when you are away. This makes the lack of a 2025 update feel even stranger because the current Apple TV 4000, while powerful with its A15 Bionic chip, lacks Apple's latest neural engine advancements used in A17 chips, which power many of Apple Intelligence's real-time processes. Upgrading the Apple TV would not just improve gaming or streaming but would unlock smarter, faster, safer home control. Apple also knows the streaming landscape is changing. Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime Video are pushing into cloud gaming, live sports, 8,000 experimental content, and richer interactive experiences. To stay ahead, Apple TV hardware needs more power, more bandwidth, and better thermal design for sustained performance. The rumored A17 Pro chip would have delivered console-level gaming performance, ray tracing support, drastically improved graphics, and smoother Apple Arcade titles. But such a huge leap now seems delayed for strategic reasons. Another explanation for the delay lies in Apple's supply chain priorities. In 2025, Apple shifted massive resources toward manufacturing Vision Pro 2, the OLED iPad Pro lineup, and the ongoing iPhone 17 redesign. Mid-tier smart home devices like the Apple TV naturally moved to lower priority, especially since Apple Intelligence rollout needed engineering attention across all major operating systems. This is reinforced by the absence of supply chain leaks. Whenever Apple prepares to ship hardware, units begin appearing in port databases and distributor lists. For the Apple TV 4000, none of this occurred in 2025, which strongly suggests a 2026 timeline. But even if delayed, the next Apple TV is expected to be the biggest upgrade in the product's history. Rumors point toward Wi-Fi 7 support for faster wireless communication, especially for 4K HDR, 8,000 content in the future, and streaming Apple Arcade games with minimal latency. Apple could also integrate Thread Border Router Plus, improving smart home device reliability and eliminating the hiccups users face with cheaper hubs. Audio improvements are also expected, as Apple might integrate better Dolby Atmos handling or more accurate sync features for multi-room playback with HomePods. And then there is the most talked about possibility, the built-in FaceTime camera. This would allow true living room video calling without relying on an iPhone, and it aligns with Apple's push to make the living room a communication hub. The Apple TV interface might also get a major redesign to support high-powered recommendations, contextual suggestions, and more natural voice interactions. The upgraded Siri is a big part of this. Apple wants users to speak naturally. Like Siri, continue the show I was watching on Friday night, or find a family movie rated PG from the last 5 years that we haven't watched yet, or even show me camera feeds from the backyard and dim the lights, all processed locally, faster, and more securely. The current Apple TV can perform some of this, but with limitations. The upgraded model is expected to eliminate these limitations entirely. As for Apple's silence, it is likely intentional. Apple only announces products when the timing aligns perfectly with marketing goals, software readiness, and overall ecosystem strategy. While 2025 was filled with misinformation, abandoned rumors, and evaporating leaks, analysts now agree on one point. Apple is preparing a major smart home relaunch, not a small refresh. This relaunch is expected to introduce a new smart home hub, the HomePod Mini 2, the next generation AirTag 2, and the new Apple TV 4000 altogether, supported by the most advanced version of Apple Intelligence. That kind of coordinated launch requires precision, and Apple will delay products for 6 months, 12 months, or even more if needed to get the experience perfect. When the new Apple TV 4000 eventually arrives, it will likely look similar on the outside but drastically different on the inside, a device that unifies entertainment, gaming, home automation, and local AI processing into a single centerpiece of the Apple ecosystem. The delays of 2025 are not signs of trouble, but signs that Apple is building something bigger than anyone expected. And when it finally launches, the Apple TV 4000 may no longer be seen as a quiet accessory in the Apple ecosystem, but as the most essential device powering the intelligent, automated, connected Apple home of the future.